The gang boy is a phenomenon of youth.
Let's get out of here!
He belongs to every race, every creed, and every color. He is a symptom of a sickness in society.
We'll get him tonight.
This Pepper Tree gang now has 15 shotguns, 3 hand grenades, a keg of black powder, and 60 sticks of dynamite. This morning, they blew the top off a palm tree on Palomino Road.
That's the picture. And it's not pretty. These kids are about to get into a gang war that will ruin every one of their lives. And we're going to do everything in our power to prevent it. Place all extra patrols that we have on duty, Captain. Keep these groups from gathering at any location in the city. And Casson, see if you can get the leaders together here at the station. Maybe we can talk this thing out.
They're coming tonight, Danny. They're gonna break up the dance.
Hey, Danny, can I have a word with you?
Don't listen to him, Danny. Too late now. Tell him to see the pepper trees.
Shut up. Okay, Lieutenant. I'll listen.
It won't do no good.
I know a truce won't solve the problem, but it will delay the fighting. What do you say?
I'll think it over.
I walked around for hours. And then some inner force drew me up here to the dam. In a small, dark corner, my mind had remembered something. Something that would help me to decide. But I couldn't get at it. I tried to think back. To figure how and why I became a gang boy. But all I could think of was that my gang began with poor but healthy kids. And that we seemed to come together because of a battle that each of us was fighting within himself and with the angry world around him.
Get him, Danny! Get my shooter! Get him!
It was a battle I could feel myself losing, even when I was winning a fight.
Come on, knock this off.
Leave me alone.
Now, wait a minute. I only want to help you.
I don't need no help. Leave me alone.
But how could I accept help from him when all the time I thought he too was part of the angry world I was fighting?
Who will cap? You. No.
At this age, you couldn't call us a gang. We were just a bunch of kids playing together. But whenever a kid's real world is a wreck yard, when it brings him unhappiness, he has a wonderful escape hatch, his imagination. And if you step into his world with his mind, you will see it quickly change into a beautiful, exciting world of fantasy. All at once, the wreck yard is an African jungle, crawling with big game. And every kid becomes his own favorite animal. In that disguise, he can, as he wishes, growl back at the world or hide from it. Playing in places like this got us into trouble. And this conflict made us pals in a never-ending battle with the big, powerful adult authority. In such a state of mind, we got many false ideas about the world from the things we saw in some movies and comic books.
You got any money?
When nobody can afford to buy you toys, what can a kid do? Plenty. We explored the large world around us, and we found a million noisy, moving, colorful objects.
Hey, look here!
Sparkling and flashing to fascinate our searching eyes and to entice our nimble fingers. But to us then, stealing was not a crime. It was both a game.
That one there.
This one?
Let's go! Come on! Come on, Danny!
first small way of striking back. And we had great fun putting things over on the big, stupid adults. To protect us from an unfriendly world, we had a secret hideout. To us, it was a fortress and a castle.
Me next.
To bring us still closer together, there was the tattoo of the saber-toothed tiger. It made us blood brothers, gave us a name. The angry world made us special in one way. Our tattoo made us special in another. Gave us a new identity, a feeling of belonging somewhere.
Ow, take it easy.
Now that we had a little world all our own, the contest began for its leadership. It was usually between me and Johnny. Until he chickened out and stepped back from the train. Although the others came forward, I moved still closer. There was something pushing me out in front. I won in a breeze. Oh, Johnny was scared stiff, and I remember how we all had a good laugh at him.
Chicken!
The direction we were moving was clear now. Without wanting it, without even knowing it, we were becoming a gang. And I its leader. At first, I liked it. I thought I was becoming a brave man like my father, who still lived in the heart of my mother. I did not know then that it was not a real bravery, but a kind of sickness that was always pushing me out in front.
I'll meet you in the water.
And daring others to follow me.
Come on, Johnny, jump. The water's real warm. Johnny, come down with us. That's too high. Come down. Ah! When they find him, Johnny will be dead, won't he?
Quiet, Robert.
Won't he?
Yes. Now keep quiet.
Son, my son, my son.
3 days later, they found the body. As I watched the father perform the mass at Johnny's funeral, a horrible sense of dry-eyed guilt came over me. I felt everyone's eyes were on me, and my tears would not come. Yes, I had killed Johnny Garcia as surely as if I had strangled him. 9 years seem a long time when they come between the age of 10 and 19. In that time, most kids become young men. We were weakened by our struggle with the world. We never grew up. Instead, we merged ourselves like animals into a herd and became a gang. But like kids, we still did whatever we felt like at the moment. We picked in the orange groves, made a little money, but we gambled that away. Some boys began to drink beer and whiskey. A few began to smoke marijuana. Some even drifted into serious crime.
You know?
People couldn't understand us now. The things we did, why we did them. Because the reasons were hidden away in those 9 years of growing up in an angry world. And we lived under the constant threat of punishment. Punishment from the same authority that would not recognize and accept us as human beings. I lived in fear too. But I had to put on a brave mask and keep proving to myself and to the gang again and again that I was not afraid. Caught in a circle of fear and hatred, violence seemed my only way out. Then I got a glimpse of another way, with Rosalie. For the first time in my life, I began to feel what happiness love might bring. This way seemed to hold hope for a better future, for more real satisfaction. And I guess I wasn't the first or the only young guy in the world to fly forward in his dreams to a family and kids. The Pepper Tree Gang. Every time I looked at their faces, I always saw the angry homes they must have grown up in. They were not so different from us as they thought. Unable to strike at their own angry world, they tried to let it out on us. This time we took it. Because if you want something better out of life than a gang, you've got to make a start somewhere. So, with the help of an older man, we formed a club. Here we began the first small attempts at becoming better members of the community. And we decided to hold a dance. But 2 days before the dance, the thing I knew was bound to happen sooner or later happened. Ernie was walking down the street when he ran into 3 members of the Pepper Tree Gang. As usual, they decided to have a little fun with him. Nothing serious, they thought.
Hello, Jose. What are you doing in this neck of the woods? My name's Ernie. I want you to meet a couple friends of mine. Bet I know them both. You want to shake hands? Sure. Come see us again, Jose. We like you. I will.
Forget it, Ernie. We took a vote.
We don't want any trouble before the dance.
You're getting yellow, Danny. If you want to do something about this, we will. Let's go.
A little handshake. The vicious circle was started all over again. The law of the jungle is the law of the gang. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth.
That's him. Hold this.
It's an ugly law. They challenge, we must answer.
Hiya, Scott. Meet a couple of friends of mine.
We challenge, and they must answer.
Let's get them. Look, Scott again. They're after us. There's at least 5 of them. They turned right. Turn here.
An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth.
There they go.
A jungle law. Law of retaliation. Revenge. Nobody can live under it. Not even a savage. Not for long. And there was Lieutenant Casson fighting as usual, his old losing battle.
Okay, boys. What's the beef?
He never gave up.
Come on, boys. Let's get it straightened out now. Well, Art?
It was no
Break it up,
use.
then.
The pepper trees would not let it lie. I knew exactly what they would do. Go to the drive-in and pick up some of the gang there.
Come on, we're going into Mextown.
Okay, we're with you, man.
Then to the dungeon. Report to Chuck. He'd stake out the plan of attack.
We'll get them.
Only we'd all be ready for them. I didn't want this war. And I had an idea which I thought might work. Chuck and his gang would come driving into our neighborhood with cars, armed like tanks. He in the lead.
Here they come. Here they come.
Instead of lying in wait for them, I told my boys to get their weapons and line up on both sides of the street right out in the open. Once they saw how strong we were, they would keep moving. As they came down the street, I had a feeling my plan would work. But when your gang is so hopped up for a fight, you lose control.
Let him make the first move.
In such a fight, there are no heroes and brave men. There is only blind striking out at something you know not what or why. So we met their challenge. At a terrible cost to both sides, we throw them away. They would challenge again. And what would my answer be? What good was a truce if nothing could be done to change things? Then something clicked in my brain. The darkened memory of Johnny Garcia had brought me to the dam and had showed me the thread running between him and the fighting. If I was right, if the reasons for the gang fighting were hidden away in 9 years of a kid's growing up in an angry world, then it was clear now what I had to say to Lieutenant Casson.
Hey, Danny.
Okay, Lieutenant, I'll play ball. For one reason. Because of him. Look at him. This kid Freddie is just as good as any other kid in the world right now. But give him 9-year dose of the medicine I got, and you'll get another gang boy.
How well I know.
He needs a lot of things. Material things. He needs something else. A chance to develop a new outlook. Here.
Go on.
A long time ago, I told you to leave me alone. Remember?
In grammar school.
I was wrong then.
That's hard to say, Danny.
Don't leave this one all alone. Not yet. Don't let him grow up trying to find his own way in an angry world he didn't make. Don't let him grow up feeling inferior and unloved. Help him to become recognized and accepted by the community. A real part of it.
Will you help too?
What do you mean?
I mean, if you boys are willing to help the younger ones, are willing to put all the energy that goes into fighting each other into trying to change the angry world around you, maybe this boy will get his chance. In a way, it may be your chance too, Danny. What do you say?
Let's see what happens at the truce meeting tonight.
If you guys won't try to settle things in a democratic way, well, it looks pretty clear to me just who it is that's causing all the trouble. If someone gets killed, it's gonna go mighty hard with you.
Okay, we'll come, but it won't do any good.
Fellows, we didn't ask you here this evening to criticize you for the things that you've done. Rather, we're going to ask you to cooperate with us by discussing your misunderstandings in a democratic way and arriving at a solution without further violence.
All right, boys, this is your meeting, and you're going to have it all to yourselves. All we're going to do is see to it anybody who's got a beef is heard, and that everybody gets a fair shake. Well, Danny, you heard the beefs.
We didn't ask for this, and I only got one thing to say. We don't want trouble, but we're not going to run away from it. We're willing to have a truce if they will guarantee that nothing will happen at our dance tonight.
Well, what do you say, Chuck?
It's okay by me, but there's too many in it. There's not enough time to get in touch with all of them. I won't guarantee nothing.
I see. Well, how would it be if Danny here invited you and a couple of your boys to the dance? Then, if any of the other gang showed up, you'd be there, and you could tell them about the truce. Okay with you, Danny?
Okay.
Well, Chuck?
Okay. How about us having a club and holding dances?
I'll be glad to help you.
Okay.
Somebody's out there. I suppose you'd like to dance too.
As I watched Freddie that night, I could hear a voice praying inside me. And the prayer words were simply, don't let him grow up all alone, feeling inferior and unloved in an angry world.
This was a true story based on an incident in the city of Pomona. Since that truce day, there has not been one outbreak of group violence. And the boys' clubs, by themselves, have built a ballpark for all the younger children in the community. They have donated their time, energy, and money to the March of Dimes, the City of Hope, and other welfare organizations. At Christmas time, they held an open dance, collected food as part of the admission price, and then, together with the young children, distributed this food to the needy families. Here is the evidence of a small beginning, perhaps, but it is at least a beautiful straw in the breadth of a prayer that is gradually being fulfilled.